Hey, it's Mike Draper with AWC TV, and you are going to want to pay attention to this. As you know, we've run many features in our Tech Ages section, kind of loving technology and bringing technology to our world of window cleaning and power washing. But we ran into a company called SmartCAT out at the ISSA convention in Las Vegas, and this company has some really cool features of a couple of deals that they can offer that really help solve some problems. So I'm going to bring in Suraj. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. How are you, Michael?
Good. Thanks for coming on board with us. I really appreciated meeting your team out in Las Vegas, and they really had some insight into your products, and I was kind of taken back by it. It really solved some problems in our industry, which we'll talk about in a minute. But thank you for coming on board today.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so say your name and then also the title, what you do there for SmartCAT.
Yeah, so my name is Suraj Prakash. Work at William Frick and Company, and I'm the product manager for SmartCAT.
Okay, so here I'm going to set this up this way. So here's the problem that we window cleaners and power washers have at times. Problem one. Oftentimes power washing and sometimes window cleaning as well is done on off hours. And because of that, specifically power washing, it's done in the middle of the night. So sometimes the business isn't even open. And so you'll get a manager that comes in the following day and they maybe haven't seen the power washer and they question whether the work ever got done. So tell me a little bit about your product and the RFID tags and the SmartCAT and how that product could solve that problem.
Yeah, so the way we look at it is, fundamentally there's an issue of accountability and visibility. The users are not really getting the information that they require to attest to whether or not someone was there to clean, right? So our product, which is a mobile data collection platform that sits on your Android or your iOS devices, enables our users to create forms that are really dynamic and smart forms that can help their operators collect data. So really quickly, just to walk you through a scenario where you might use SmartCAT and RFID would be where, let's say there's a power washing facility where it needs to be power washed, and there is someone who walks up to the facility. They first things first would open our app and scan the RFID tag that is associated to that facility, and by doing that, they're doing a couple of things. First thing that they're doing is recording in the form that, hey, I'm here, lock my position in, record my GPS coordinates. Second thing they're doing is that they're starting a check-in time. So now they've checked into that location. And the third thing that they're doing is enabling a list of, let's say, guidelines or a checklist of to-do things that basically are connected to the RFID tag that they have scanned. And we've seen that by doing this, they're actually recording secure authentication of being there, which would help increase the accountability. Right. So it's like a domino effect, right? I mean, if I'm going to clean a certain location, I am going to walk up to, like you said, what we call an RFID wall tag, which is mounted onto the wall at the facility. And this doesn't have to be, a tag that is, obviously placed at the entrance or anywhere that is aesthetically unpleasing, but it's placed where the operator would go to. And by scanning the tag, he lets the app begin the procedure of him going through the cleaning process.
Okay, so the first problem is solved. We can prove that the technician was there. At least he was at least showed up at the facility and scanned that. We can prove that point, so that problem gets solved. The next problem is communication. So a technician shows up at a job, there's a task before him to get done, and he doesn't know what chemicals or what tools are to be used at this particular facility. How can we solve that problem?
So let's go back to the RFID tag that's at that facility. We know that no facility is, or not all facilities are the same. Each facility has its own unique sort of needs, and those needs can be limited to the chemicals that I'm using, or it can also be limited to the guidelines and the things that I need to clean as opposed to not clean, and maybe even how long I should let something cure before I move on to the next step. And so the RFID tag, which, RFID stands for radio frequency identification. One thing it's very good at doing is providing secure identity. What that really means is that my facility has an RFID tag, which is unique and secure. So when I scan that RFID tag, I am basically bringing up a code that is unique to that facility. And now our app allows our users to connect very specific things to that RFID tag's unique code. So just to kind of continue with our story, I scanned that RFID tag, and the app will now bring up a list of steps to do items or checklists or guidelines, if you may, that are very specific to that facility. And these are customizable. So they're configurable and customizable by our customers. And this could be as simple as, clean A, clean B, clean C, clean D, or this could be more indulgent, where clean A with item, 1, clean B with item 2, with clean, or you could take it a step further. You could have clean A with item 1, and here's a picture of item 1. Clean A with item, and you could also have how much of each you want to use. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, so we can put basically the instructions for the job, what chemical they're going to use, how they're going to go about it, the procedural items or whatever, right on that RFID, so the technician has that in their hand and has access to it.
Right. So the magic is that, this is kind of letting you into the secret. The secret sauce is that the RFID tag is just holding a very unique ID that is, very difficult to replicate or to break. And so that unique ID is then in our app and our app's cloud connected to all that procedure.
Okay. And I'm assuming that me back at the office as the owner of the company, I can input data, if you will, in kind of a simplified term, I can input data into that specific RFID so that when the tech gets there, he's going to get that information.
Absolutely. You've got it.
All right. Very nice. Now, another big thing in our industry, specifically when we're dealing with employees, and this is really cool, so you really want to pay attention here at home. The JHA, the safety feature of this is this. So OSHA requires that you basically figure out a safety plan for an individual job site. They don't allow you to just do a blanket safety plan. So every job site has to have a unique safety plan. Now what's really cool about this, and from talking with you before, is me as the owner sitting back at the office, I could create the job hazard analysis, and that information could be placed right on that RFID, so when the technician got there, he knows what hazards exist, he knows what chemical hazards exist on that job site specifically.
Absolutely. So apart from just pulling up guidelines to clean the place, you can very well do a couple of things here. So, one thing is scanning the RFID can bring up a link to a PDF document. Maybe there's a existing OSHA PDF document that you want to connect your the job site to, or you can also bring up steps within the app itself that very clearly state with pictures, what you should and should not do. The other thing is you can have simple toggles and check marks. So what you're trying to, as bad as this sounds, as a company, what you're trying to do is not just have them follow the steps, but check and attest to the fact that they followed their steps. So two things are happening here. We've noticed that when someone is asked to attest to it, they actually do follow it very closely. And then the second thing is when they're attesting to it, they're essentially signing clearly saying that I'm accountable for anything that happens here because I am following the safety guidelines that you've given me. And all of this can be tied up in the app at the end by having the operator actually sign. So you have a field for an electronic signature where the person actually signs with their finger into their smartphones before they hit submit.
Yeah, that's really cool. So let's just back this up so we have a complete understanding here of what's going on. First of all, the technician, it basically becomes a time tracking on the job site by using that RFID and the smart log. You're going to get a GPS coordinate, so you're going to know for sure that your truck is where it's supposed to be and then how long it's spent at that job site. You're going to be able to give instructions that they're going to be able to check off on or whatever. You're going to be able to produce a JHA to that specific job site right there from that app as well. And then you can also create a sign-off. So the person, if they are there, because we talked about at the beginning, they might not be there, but if they are there, they could basically do a finger signature right on the phone, and that is also captured in that RFID tag and in the app.
And finally, when you hit submit, the operator or the cleaner hits submit, all of that entry can be sent via an email report to my supervisor, and also have it accessible on our backend cloud. So you can go there and view by map all your different facilities and all the different cleanings that have been going on, and kind of get a list of all your data. So it's reproducible at any point, if in case you have an audit or just for your own sort of analytics.
Yeah, so when your tech comes in and he's sleeping and you're in the office that morning and you're wondering whether or not anything got done last night, you don't have to worry about it anymore because the report is right in front of your face. Yeah, very cool. So I know what some of you window cleaners out there and power washers are thinking, oh, this all sounds great, but these RFID tags are probably very, very expensive. Tell me why they're not expensive. How much are they?
So one tag that we would want to use with our washing and window cleaning forms would be RFID wall tag, which is priced at $5 a tag.
$5, guys. So listen to this. If I talk to guys all the time that are looking for unique selling propositions, they want to be different in their marketplace. They want to try to create some sort of unique thing that makes them stand out. How cool is this to, when you're in your sales presentation, to be able to go in and say, well, we're going to know that the guy's there. We're going to have GPS tags. You don't have to worry about any ocean fractions because we're going to send the job hazard analysis right to the technician, right on the job site. It's very specific. All the written instructions, everything you wanted to do. If you call me and you want something done specifically that day, I can put it right on the tag. So when he goes there, he's going to be able to check off on it. And, oh, by the way, you're going to give me a signature at the end of the day, a verification, so that everybody's in the loop the whole time. That is cool, guys. Very cool. I think this application, the SmartCAT, has a lot of potential in our industry.
And I would like to just kind of follow that up with, the tag itself is $5, but there is, like everything you mentioned, and there's a lot more that you can do with the application itself. And that app itself is for users is priced at $500 a year, $550 a year. So you put the subscription in once per year and have access to all of these things and more.
It's still very, very doable. So, yeah, that's your subscription for the app, but then the tags, because a lot of these guys have multiple jobs, right? 50, 60 jobs out there. It's still a very feasible opportunity to create some uniqueness in your business.
Absolutely.
Man, I'm super stoked. I'm glad I ran into you guys at the ISSA. SmartCAT, we're going to put your link up here at smartcatrfid.com. They can call you direct and buy the stuff. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yep, they can buy it on our website, and if they want to talk to one of us, we're more than happy to help.
All right. Well, hey, Suraj, I really appreciate you taking some time out today and being with us and explaining this. It's going to be featured, this RFID tags and SmartCAT's going to be featured in our January-February edition of AWC Magazine. So you want to check that article out in detail. It's going to lay out some other things for you as well. But we thank you very much for being on. I'm Mike Draper with AWC TV, signing off. Stay tuned for our next episode of AWC TV by following us on YouTube, Facebook, or our website, awcmag.com.